Hello, and welcome to True Crime and Story Time. I am your host, Christy, and here I tell a true crime or a story that either you recommended or one that I've been personally interested in. Warning: the following episode contains disturbing content that might be inappropriate and triggering for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Postpartum psychosis is an extreme postnatal disorder. It afflicts between 1 and 2 of every 1,000 new mothers. Symptoms of postpartum psychosis include delusions, hallucinations, illogical thoughts, thoughts of suicide, and thoughts of homicide. And it can happen anywhere.
Hey, Sammy, want to be a farmer when you grow up?
Yeah? Here's 2 acres.
Ow!
Keep quiet.
I think something's wrong with Mama,
No, she's just tired.
but she's been acting real strange.
Mom's good that way sometimes when I have a new baby.
You're not even staying for dinner?
You're the man of the house when I'm gone, so you take good care of your brothers and sister.
Bye, Daddy. Mama? Mama? Mama. Shh. Mama's sick.
Sammy, don't listen to her!
Come on!
Come on, you two!
I gave you everything, Daddy. My mom. My youth. And this is how you repay me? Why do you want to hurt me, Jimmy?
Here you are. Hey guys, so I just wanted to let you know that we are in fact on episode 9. I'm kind of proud of myself that I stuck with it. I didn't know how I was going to take to doing these videos, but you guys are very positive and reassuring. I do want to let you know that this is going to be a very, very traumatic series. Yes, series, because it's so much that I have to do it in parts. As you could hear from the warning and see from the trailer, it is going to be about something extremely horrifying. Now, I've watched this movie, Baby Blues, like so many times. And initially, I was going to do this whole series on that. But I found out that Baby Blues is actually based on a real life family here in Texas. I don't know if you guys remember, but Andrea Yates, she's the woman that back in 2001 drowned all 5 of her children and was diagnosed with postpartum psychosis. Because I'm going to be doing this in parts, well, no, I can't say it that way. I'm going to be doing it in parts because I'm going to be airing just specific clips of the movie Baby Blues to kind of give insight into what the movie depicts a psychotic episode to look like, because I've never gone through it. I don't know exactly how real it is. I do know it's just based on true events, so we're just going to go that route and see how it works out. So without giving too much away, I'm going to go ahead and get started, but I will caution that if you do attempt to watch the movie Baby Blues, it is hard to watch, and the only reason why I did watch it so many times is because, like, I'm one of those people that I want to see if there's something I didn't notice before, right? Especially when it comes to mental health. I like to pick apart things mentally and analytically, logistically. And so I watched it that many times, not for entertainment or anything like that. I was actually given the movie by somebody without a disclaimer. And so the first time I watched it, I was in fact mortified. And then I kind of desensitized myself to it just so I can try to get in the mind of the person from what's being shown to see how somebody could do something like that. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't get very far. And I don't even know where that movie is anymore. I probably threw it away just because it's not something that I feel is good for me mentally and emotionally to keep around. But we're going to get into all of the things so you can understand why. Andrea Yates was born in Houston, Texas on July 2nd, 1964, to parents Jutta, J-U-T-T-A, Kohler, a German immigrant, and Andrew Emmett, whose parents were both Irish immigrants. She is said to be the youngest of their 5 children. Andrea does have a little bit of a history with some mental and emotional health. She suffered from depression and an eating disorder, and she did speak about suicidal ideation around 17 to one of her close friends. She didn't let that stop or deter her from her future goals and dreams because in 1982, Andrea graduated Milby High School as class valedictorian. She was the captain of the swim team and an officer in the National Honor Society. After high school, Andrea attended the University of Houston and completed a 2-year pre-nursing program. From there, she went to the University of Health Science Center at Houston, where she became an RN. Because of her success with college, she was an RN from 1986 to about 1994 at the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center. But love has a way of finding us all, and in the summer of 1989, she met Russell Rusty Yates, who was an engineer at the Sunscape Apartments in Houston. They'd moved in together soon after meeting, and on April 17th, 1993, they married. From there, they went on to purchase a 4-bedroom home in Friendswood, Texas, because they had the intentions on having a lot of babies. This is Noah Yates. He is the first of the Yates babies, born February 26, 1994, and he was born in Houston. Shortly after he was born, Rusty took a job offer in Seminole, Florida, where the family relocated and purchased a small trailer. Now, some would say that Andrea took to parenthood. She left being a mother and all of the things, but then there are some reports of disturbing behaviors, like her hearing voices telling her to grab a knife and stab somebody. She did, however, report these voices to her doctor, and this is the first time anybody would make mention that she was going through any type of postpartum psychosis. Now, just to let you guys know, there's no way to actually diagnose postpartum psychosis, or at least there wasn't then. I'm not sure about now. But what they do say is that postpartum psychosis is on the schizophrenic spectrum. So, the hallucinations and the hearing voices. And it's also classified by the DSM as just a generalized other psychotic episode. They say that postpartum psychosis can happen anytime between 1 or 2 weeks after a baby is born. But science is finding that it could take a little longer depending on lifestyle, other mental health disorders, and things of that nature. On December 12th, 1995, Rusty and Andrea Yates welcomed baby John into the family. It's clear that the Yates family is well on their way to becoming that big family that Andrea always aspired to be. Continuing with their belief of creating the largest family that they possibly could, Andrea and Rusty welcomed their third child, Paul. Again, there's no mention of anything out of the ordinary mentally or emotionally with Andrea. But at this time, the family had also moved back to Houston, Texas. And here we have all four astonishingly handsome Yates boys: Noah, John, Paul, and Luke, who was born on February 15th, 1999. Practically a Valentine's baby. From the outside looking in, everything seems to be beautiful with the Yates family. But on June 16th of 1999, Andrea is dealing with the horrid effects of depression. And during this specific episode, it is said that Rusty found Andrea shaking and chewing her nails. The very next day, she tried to unalive herself with a pill overdose. Following this event, Andrea was hospitalized and prescribed antidepressants. So clearly that medication regimen did not work for Andrea Yates because, we're still here. And the erratic behavior, I guess you would call it, kind of kicked up into full swing. So much so that Andrea begged Rusty to just let her die, and she held a knife to her neck, or so it's been reported. I'm not sure how true this is, but what I do know is that anybody with suicidal thoughts and ideation tend to get rehospitalized. And that's exactly what happened with Andrea. And during this time, she was given a plethora of medications, as they tend to do. People are just guinea pigs to the pharmaceutical market, but that's neither here nor there. Well, one medication that she was given was Haldol. And I don't know if you guys know anything about Haldol, but it is a very serious medication. A strong one, I should say, not serious. And it is typically used for schizophrenia, delirium, the tics, and Tourette's, the mania side of bipolar, and acute psychosis. And that's just to name a few. And almost immediately, they seen a change in Andrea's behavior, an improved change. So, things appear to be looking good, right? Wrong. Because even though she was released with the Haldol and her behaviors seemed to have improved in July of 1999, Andrea ended up having 2 suicidal attempts and 2 additional psychiatric hospitalizations. And this is where she is, where she is officially diagnosed with postpartum psychosis. Now, Dr. Eileen Starbranch testified that she, warned Rusty and Andrea not to have any more children, or else this is going to happen again. But Rusty is singing a different song. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play a clip where he's saying that's not necessarily true. We'll be right back.
She was treated with 2 antidepressants and an injection of the antipsychotic drug Haldol. Her husband, Rusty, says the response was remarkable.
Within a day, Andrea went from being completely catatonic to sitting on the couch with me in the visiting area, and we carried on just, I referred to it as the best conversation we've ever had. The thing I learned from it is that she needed the right medicine. When I saw her respond to the medicine at that time, I'm like, wow, there's hope. There's hope that Andrea will return.
How do you respond to those people who said in some of these newspaper articles that you weren't giving her enough time alone, that you were a controlling husband, that you weren't doing enough to try to ease her burden?
Well, they don't know anything. I mean, they don't know us, I mean, we had what I'd call a more traditional family, but to say those things is really, unfair.
For more than a year after she got out of the hospital and was off all medications, by all accounts, life in the Yates family was back to normal. They decided to have another child.
There's the baby in there.
Ignoring a doctor's written warning which said that doing so would surely guarantee future psychotic depression. That's a pretty ominous warning. Did you and Andrea, maybe given the circumstances, say maybe we've had enough kids, we shouldn't have any more?
Well, no. We looked at that and we said, well, this was a very difficult time. But then we said, well, would we rather have not had Luke? I mean, of course, we'd rather have Luke and have gone through that. What we were told is that there was a 50% chance that she would be depressed again if we had another child, and if she got depressed again, she would have the same symptoms as she had in '99, and that the same treatment that worked for her in '99 would work again.
So you can clearly hear Rusty saying that, they were never told not to have any more children. They were actually told there's a 50-50 chance she would act the way that she was acting, but they do know what treatments to use and what will help her to get over these hurdles. And they believe that, obviously, because 7 weeks after Andrea was discharged, she ended up pregnant. She stopped taking all medication, to include the Haldol, in March of 2000 and gave birth to baby Mary November 30th of the same year. And at some point, I'm assuming she got back on her medication after giving birth to baby Mary, because it said that when her father died March 12th of 2001, she stopped taking her medication. She started mutilating herself. She was erratically reading the Bible. She even stopped feeding Mary. And this would ultimately become the unraveling and the horrid effects of postpartum psychosis, the worst possible outcome that anybody could think of. And this is where we will take a pause. I will come back with part 2, but I'm going to warn you guys now that in part 2, I will be showing clips from the movie Baby Blues. I'm not playing the whole movie. I'm not inserting the majority of the clips. Just clips, I guess, to kind of highlight some of the lows of baby blues, postpartum psychosis, postpartum depression, and how things can just escalate. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.